Rob, the Edmonton Oilers are going to miss the playoffs this season. There's too many points to make up in a short amount of time. They play every other night between now and the end of the season, and there's too many teams between them and a playoff spot. Too much ground to make up. How does the coaching staff keep the players focused and motivated to go out and win games, or is that even something that should be part of the job?
It's funny, for a team that's missed the playoffs 11 times in 12 years, this might be the most disappointing of all of those runs, because the expectations were so high when the season began. This is a team that was picked to win the Western Conference, to maybe play in the Stanley Cup final, and here they are playing out the string with 5 or 6 weeks left in the season. So this is hitting the group hard. Keeping the morale up is going to be very difficult, and I'm not sure how you do it other than trying to find small victories along the way, whether it's the odd win here or there. They want to get their special teams a little bit better. They're 30th and 31st in both of those areas. So when you're in a situation like this, where it's a bit of a death march, you just have to find whatever small victories you can, and that's the mode that they're in right now. Because if you let it become ugly, it gets ugly, and I've seen a few of those years too, covering this team.
I mean, yeah, this is not unfamiliar territory for the Oilers and the fans. I mean, here we are, the 12th season, and 11 of them are non-playoff years, and there've been plenty of hockey games in March and April and February and January where we weren't watching playoff hockey here in Edmonton.
Yeah, I've seen years where they just weren't really trying that hard. Like, they were mailing it in. They got beaten down, and that's an atmosphere you can't let creep into the room. You have to play hard all the way to the end. Even if you don't have a lot to play for, you have to go out there and still lay it on the line and try to find a reason. And you shouldn't have to struggle too hard. You're a professional player. You're out there against another team. You want to beat the guy across from you. You want your team to win that night. So there's really, even though the standings say the season is an abject failure, which it is, you still, as a competitor and as a person, you have to go out there and battle hard right till the end.
We talk about what went wrong this season and what went right last season. I mean, there's a lot of little things that contribute to success and failure in hockey. Mm-hmm. And we've seen it this year. I mean, obviously players haven't played up to the same level that they did last year. And obviously the kind of start the Oilers had this season didn't help things either.
No, there were huge expectations when the season began, and as soon as things started to go a little bit sideways, I think that added to, in addition to everything that was going wrong on the ice, the psychological aspect of it kind of weighed heavily on them, and it just stayed low. And this, you hate to say that last year was a fluke, because there's no such thing as an 82-game fluke, but last year was a perfect storm. Everything that could have possibly gone right for the Edmonton Oilers went right. Their goaltender was a workhorse, and he was fantastic. Connor McDavid was the MVP. 5, 6, 7 guys had career highs. There were no injuries to important players. And you come back this year and all those expectations and an early losing streak, and then a lot of the things that went perfectly last year did not go perfectly this year, and just the weight of everything, everybody saw this season, the weight of everything just crushed them.